Hi class. Today I'm going to be introducing my theories and ideas about editing and proofreading. That you will be looking at a few different types of grammar and punctuation problems that crop up in English classes a lot. So I wanted to give you kind of an introduction to how I think about editing and proofreading. The first thing to note is that editing your paper for punctuation and grammar is actually usually the very last part of the revision process. Revision usually involves pretty deep sorts of changes, changes to structure, changes to style, the addition and subtraction of big chunks of your paper. Editing is kind of the surface errors aspect. You look at the surface. It's like the icing on the cake. I usually recommend that you worry about your errors after you have a complete draft, but of course, if you notice a error as you're working, then just go ahead and fix it. One thing to note about how I think about grammar and punctuation is that I use it and the rules of grammar and punctuation to help me understand how to make my writing as clear as possible so that my reader never has to question my intentions. Some people believe that that kind of fussiness over grammar is inherently classist and even racist because those rules are often at odds with local dialects. So they sometimes divide us into prescriptivists and descriptivists. Prescriptivists explain what you should do in all cases for writing. Descriptivists kind of look at how people actually use language. Generally, I'm a descriptivist, so I like to look at how we actually use language. That said, I am teaching you some grammar and punctuation. And so maybe that's the question that we need to ask is why am I teaching you this? What's the point of worrying about punctuation and grammar? There's a couple of reasons. First, it provides communication. So punctuation can help or harm your audience's ability to understand you. If your grammar is all turned about, or if your punctuation is not standard, it could make reading what you've written more difficult for your audience. Another thing that you can do, or one of the reasons why looking at punctuation is important, is that it comes down to how you present yourself to the world. It's the difference between putting on a nice suit for a job interview versus showing up in dirty jeans with holes in them. So it's the same thing when you're presenting your edited papers. And I think that's all I have for you today. So yeah, put on your best dancing shoes and let's go ahead and work on our punctuation and grammar this semester.